All right, I thought I'd jump in really quickly before we start today's video, just in case you think you're having a senior moment, you missed our Emerald episode. You didn't. We just haven't aired it yet. We're going to let that one go for a couple of weeks because we want to shoot a little bit more footage and include that in that video. So we're going to continue our adventures further west in this video as we head on to the towns of Barcaldine and Longreach. Ali and I really hope that you enjoy it. G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Well, this week we're going to kick off an 8-week adventure, which for you will probably run about 5 or 6 episodes, and we're kicking it right off here in Barcaldine. Yeah?
Yes, we are, sorry.
Wake up, Alison. Right. From here we're going to continue our way west. We'll go out to Longreach and we'll check it out. And then we're going to start head slightly north towards Winton.
Yes.
And pick up on the dinosaur trail, which we're really looking forward to doing.
I'm looking forward to the dinosaur trail.
Yeah, we're looking forward to taking you along on that one. And then from there we're going to stay inland.
We are,
and make our way to Mareeba and then up to Lakeland.
Lakeland, okay.
Lakeland, yeah, and then up to the tip.
Yes.
So we'll follow the PDR up to the tip. And then from there we'll make our way back down. We're going to go to Weeper for a little while.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Weeper.
Yeah, so we go to Weeper and then we're going to work our way back down towards Cairns and we'll do like the Cairns coast. We're looking forward to seeing all the waterfalls.
Yeah, get back to the water again.
Doing all of those things, but we're also going to do a little side track up to Cape Trib and we'll do the Bloomfield track and head to the Lions Den and do all of those things that you do when you come north.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so that'll be that's the plan for the next 8 weeks or so. So
that'll keep us busy.
It will keep us very busy. But obviously we're going to bring you guys along. The first thing I need to do though before we leave is I need to go up and touch the tree of knowledge just to see if it works.
I hope so.
We're going to find out. All right, so we'll see how we go. So yeah, come and join us on the adventure. We hope you really enjoy it because we know we will.
I am looking forward to our adventure.
Right, let's roll.
So it's pronounced
Barcaldine, not Barcaldine. We're speaking specifically to Victorians.
Oh no, it's
Barcaldine.
Barcaldine. I almost said Barcaldine then. Barcaldine.
What do you think of Barcaldine, Al?
It's an interesting little town.
Yeah, it's a pretty town, isn't it?
It is. They put lots of plaques up to tell you what used to be here and what happened in their history.
They do.
Which is quite interesting.
That's a good segue because here's one right here. It is, but it tells you what the building was or what it was before it burnt down in 1933. I don't know how many buildings burnt down in 1933.
There was a big fire. In the 20s, yes.
Yeah, through here. So they rebuilt a lot of them, but yeah, it's just a beautiful little town to walk through, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful. Yeah,
we hit up the information centre when we come in to have a look around to see what to do in town, and then we're just going to get around and do a couple of things. We were going to stay here 3 days, but we're now going to stay here for 1 now because we're going to head up to Outback. We're going to have a look at the sculpture trail that's up through. It looks really nice.
Or down to Laura.
Or maybe down to Laura Wetlands. We'll toss a coin in the morning. Where we end up is where we end up.
But we'll keep moving.
Yeah, but we'll keep moving. But we're in a great little free camp just outside of town. You can stay 20 hours. I'll throw up some vision of what that looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's not too bad. And I'll show you a little bit of stuff that we saw inside the information centre, but you can't film in there, particularly their posters and their paintings because they're all copyrighted. But the part that I filmed, I don't think will breach a copyright. I think it'll be good.
We hope so.
We'll find out. This is the museum in Barcaldine. We didn't go in, we get a bit museumed out, we didn't go into this one, but I will drop in what the entry admission was, and you pick that up from the little shop out the front. It's pretty well signposted, so it's easy to see. We come to, as you know, we're in Barcaldine, and we come to a little 20-hour stop. It's a roadside stop. I think it's called East Barcaldine Rest Area. Okay. I'll drop in a picture from Wiki Camps anyway. It's not too bad for overnight, is it?
It's very good actually.
Yeah.
Very quiet. Actually, once probably 6 o'clock comes as usual.
Yeah, I think it's like any of the traffic areas. At about 6 o'clock, the trucks all seem to stop for the night. You get the odd traveller go by, not too many.
No, not too many.
And then, Yeah, it is pretty good, yeah. And then in the morning they start up again 5, but you're on the side of a highway, so you assume there's going to be a little bit of noise.
Yes, and we had a lovely visitor this morning, unexpected.
It scared the crap out of me. I was outside cleaning the solar panels and I heard a noise. First of all, I thought snake. I looked around, there's a big roo standing there. So he bounded off pretty quickly. In fact, we both went in our own directions. I'll take you outside in a second. I'll give you a bit of a look around, but this place does come with toilets.
Yeah, there's some toilets.
Which...
We've got 2 in the girls' toilets.
Yeah.
I don't know about the boys.
I don't pay too much attention to that.
There was 2 girls' toilets, and they were fairly neat, to be
honest.
honest.
They are fairly neat, yes. Yeah, they look like they're an old block, but they're very clean, very clean inside, weren't they?
And I think I saw the council there yesterday, checking them out. So
definitely. And there's fresh water here. There's a couple of taps you can get some fresh water from.
Yes, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, so I just took advantage of that, and I filled up a bucket full of water and got up and cleaned all the solar panels, which were
feral.
Well, we hadn't cleaned them in about 6 weeks, but hopefully that ups our solar game today.
I hope so.
We'll rip it in because the sun's really shining. It's starting to get quite hot. It's good, isn't it?
Oh, it was hot yesterday, and I looked at the temperature. It was 30, and I think we got a little bit of a pink skin, so sun protection back into a slip, slop, slap again.
Definitely. Yeah, it was the toss of the coin yesterday. We almost turned the aircon on.
Stephen would turn the aircon on. I would not.
Anyway, let's go and have a bit of a look around.
Sounds good.
Okay, so the campsites are quite roomy. You just reverse your way back in. In fact, when you come in, you can actually see where people get in. You get a good distance. There's probably about 20 metres between each spot, and I reckon you could probably fit, comfortably 10 to 15 vans in here, or just different setups. We got ourselves a good spot, full sun because we want the solar, but there's plenty of shady spots if you want them. I'll take those. Did forget to mention to say there is a barbecue here. You'd probably want to clean it before you use it. I'm not quite sure if it works or not, but there's bins, there's table areas if you don't want to use your own gear, and a good little toilet block. As we said before, it's a little old, but very, very clean inside. Well, good morning. We've left Barcaldine.
Yes.
And we're making our way further west out to Longreach. We're going to hit up, it's a donation camp. It's the Lions Park. I think it's about 4 k's out of town. Got to be self-sufficient when you go out there, but apparently you can get water and there's a dump point, all that sort of gear just in town near the info centre, but we'll suss all that out and show you some pics of it. But Al and I were just talking about how much we enjoy coming out in the Outback, and we're just starting to get to that point now where the ground's starting to flatten out and the trees are getting a little bit further apart. So we're expecting soon we will be seeing some red dirt and really make us feel like we're back out there, eh?
Yes, I enjoy the Outback Queensland area.
Yeah, it's really nice, particularly at night. You get such a bright starlit night, although in Barcaldine last night it was a little bit bright for a good starry night, but still a few out.
Yeah, I think the toilet lights probably dull the sky a bit.
Yeah, that's one thing about that campground that we showed you in Barcaldine. The toilet light is quite bright because obviously it's 24-hour a day service. And the other thing I didn't mention, and I couldn't get it on the camera yesterday, but I did try, is you must be right at the end of the runway. And twice a day some planes take off.
Qantas Link, as well as the general public planes.
Yeah. So you
and
certainly.
They're loud.
Yeah, they're loud, but they last for like 30 seconds, and it only happens twice a day. And it didn't happen at night. And then we had some people come in yesterday afternoon. They asked me what the road noise was like down there, and I said it was pretty quiet after 6 o'clock.
It was a busy night.
Last night was a busy night. Might have been, and you'll sort of know what sort of timeline we're around. We watched the Matildas play last night. We sat outside and watched it.
Yeah.
And that might have been it. Everybody stopped to watch the Matildas play and then got moving again. But
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a good little 24-hour stop, which we sneakily stretched out to 48. But I think most of the councils are pretty good with you, provided they can see that you haven't moved in.
Yes.
But we've done that because we want to have a look around. Ali wanted to do a bit of work yesterday, so
yes,
we got all those things sorted, and then have a look around Barcaldine. But I'd say if I was coming here just to see Barcaldine, I'd probably just do it in a day.
You could do it in a day, yes.
Yeah, we're going to spend we think about 3 days out here at Longreach, so we're going to have a look at the Stockman Hall of Fame. We'll go and have a look at the Qantas. We don't know if we'll go into the Qantas yet. I worked for Virgin for a long time, so we're pretty familiar with aircraft, but it's always good to see those things. We'll take you around and show you what we see. We do try to spend our money pretty reasonably. We plan it, don't we?
Yeah, we have to be mindful of our budget and our entertainment budget, so you pick and choose, as everyone says. But I believe to go and see the big planes and walk out on the planes, it's
it's quite expensive.
It's that, but it's very popular. So like it's already when we were looking at the bookings, it was well into August anyway. So you've really got to plan ahead and kind of book your spot, because you probably, to turn up on a whim and do it, you might not get that opportunity, sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly. And we did spend our money on the dinosaur trail.
We chose to do the dinosaur trail this time round. Look, seen a few people do it. Looks fascinating and fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
Yeah, it should be really good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give you a bit of a look around the drive-in. Apparently up here at Invercombe, I think is the way you pronounce the town, there's an interesting road of farm equipment. Someone told us it runs for about 1 kilometre. Anyway, we'll give you a bit of a look and see what that looks like, and then we'll catch up with you when we get to Longreach. It's a very quirky town, isn't it?
It is a quirky town. It's a good reason to get out and stretch your legs, go for a wander, have a look.
It is. Someone told us yesterday it's about 1 kilometre of equipment, and it is.
Well, I hope this comes out all right, because the wind is absolutely howling through here. But we've made our way out to a donation camp, which is just a little bit outside of Longreach. It's probably about 1 or 2 k's out. It's $5 per vehicle per night. And that's payable either through the donation box, which I think is located down in the main campground, which is down the road over here, down over that way over there, but it's definitely not up here in the overflow, or you just go into the visitors centre in town and you make your donation there. So we'll probably go into the visitors centre a little bit later on, because we're going to top off a little bit of water. But we picked the overflow area because they don't really direct you where you can go. You just come out and pick your spot. And we took ourselves as far as we could get into the camp zone before you got to the no camping area. And the reason we've done that is because it's so windy, it's bloody dusty. But the trade-off is there's a railway line that's running right in front of us. And I'm sure we'll hear a train at some point, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. But the spot we got's not too bad, and we don't have a lot of dust blowing through it. But I'll give you a bit of a look, and you might see it on the GoPro, but there's a lot of vans that are parked in behind us, and there's a lot of dust blowing through that particular part of the campground. So I'll show you that. And of course, as soon as I turn the camera around, the wind dies down and there's no more dust. But you can see there's a lot of people that have camped. It's a huge campground. There's plenty of room here for plenty of vans. All right, so the plan for today, Ellie's going to continue on with her work inside the van. She does Wednesdays and Thursdays as her work days, and I just make myself scarce and just do a bit of work around the car and the van. I had to move my maintenance Monday to Wednesday. That's all right though. And then tomorrow we're going to jump into town and do a little bit of exploring. We'll probably go to the Stockman Hall of Fame and go and check out Qantas. So yeah, it should be pretty good. All right, we look forward to bringing you along and showing you what Longreach has to offer. And yeah, we hope you enjoy it as much as we will. Nation camp that's in Longreach. It's right on the bank of the river. It's really nice, in fact. Very dusty when it's windy, and I can imagine that when it was raining it'd be a bit of a bog hole. But they supply a good open area here. There's some barbecues, plenty of tables, plenty of shade. There are some toilets here. I'm not quite sure if there's some showers, but I will have a hunt around. There's definitely potable water here, so if you need to fill up your tanks with water, that's a really easy one. That's right near the toilet block when you come up. Yeah, it looks quite nice. Here in Longreach is a river cruise. I'll try and get some footage of the boat when it comes up along the river tonight, but I was told from the lady down at the Food Works, and I've got to recommend the Food Works. It was really good and really knowledgeable people, and more than happy not just to sell you something, but to give you a bit of info about the town. But yeah, she said they come out here, they find the best spot for sunset. so you can take plenty of photos, and they go back and they have a dinner and some live entertainment. So it sounds like it's really good. But just speaking to another couple we met, it's booked out for about the next 4 days. So very, very popular. So the hot tip, if you're going to come down here and you want to do it, you're going to have to book early. This was unexpected at our camp in Longreach. Alison is working, that was expected. But 2 brolgers shading themselves under the tree outside, definitely not expected. They're great. I'll pop out and get some footage and I'll throw it in. One of the things that Alison and I like to do is we like to break our food down, and we do that by just a vacuum sealer. So we put ourselves a vacuum sealer. This is it here. We got this at Aldi. It was like, I don't know, $40, somewhere around there. And they sell these bags, and you get, what do you get in that one? You get a 40 pack. And I think they cost you about $14, $15. So if we see those in Aldi, or we see the roll of it, because it's the same price, we just buy one and we keep it inside the van. It's really, really useful because it squashes all your stuff down. I'll show you in a second how it works, but it squashes all of your meat down. You can put it in nice square packs and you can fit it away in your freezer, particularly when freezer space is a premium when you're off grid. The other thing that we do with it is we do some pre-made meals. So we might do like a spag bog or something like that, and we'll seal it off in the bags. We stick it into the freezer either here in the caravan or I freeze it in the car. So that way when we're away from the van or away from the when we're away camping or doing something like that, or we just want extra storage room for freezer space, then we have some pre-made meals. So if it's late at night, we don't feel like cooking, all we're going to do is just pull it out, reheat it either in the microwave or on the stove. It's just a really easy option. Anyway, I'll show you how we divide it up and we squeeze it away. All right, first things first, all I do is just take the bag down. Make sure you wash your hands before you do this, because the next time you touch this food, it's probably going to end up going into your mouth. But we've got some chicken thigh fillets here, which we quite like because they go well in curries and stuff. We normally have 2 each. So I'll just break these into packs of 4. 3 and 4. Geez, they're a good sized thigh. That might even end up with a couple of meals out of those, I'd say. The next thing that I do then is I just squash the air out of the bag. So I just fold it over and squash out as much as I can and just put it into the vacuum sealer. So when I put it in the vacuum sealer, and I'll just pull the camera over a bit closer, just lay it so you've got a gap along the top here, that way the air can be sucked out. This one also comes with a little drainage tray, because sometimes you get like moisture or fluid from the meat and it just comes out into there, and it's very easy to clean once it's done. So you close the lid down and just push vacuum and seal. It determines when it can't suck any more air out, and once it's done it goes to seal and seals it up for you. That simple. And the last thing that I do is I just put on, I just write on what it is. So this one, it's just thighs, and the date today is the 18th of August 23. That way I know what it is and how long ago I put it inside the freezer. Okay, so once you've finished and I'll put the date and everything on, I just put them away into the freezer, but it gives you a really good seal. You can see there, that's just a nice heat seal that goes across that. They freeze quite well. It does, from what I understand, it increases the life that you can keep your chicken for, but we just keep it for what the recommended is. I think in the freezer it says 3 months for chicken. That's just, we're definitely going to have it consumed by then. And then I just free up the space and stack in the freezer. I try and put the latest dates in the back with the earliest dates at the front. That way we rotate our meat through quite well, and we make sure we don't have anything that's too old. Well, we've come down to the Stockman Hall of Fame here in Longreach, and it's been really good, isn't it?
It has been good.
We've done a self-guided tour. It cost us $35 each,
Yeah.
and it was worth it. They give you an iPod and some headsets.
Yes, they do.
And then you just walk through, and there must be sensors or something that pick you up as you go through, because it seems to know where you are.
Yeah, and it starts like an introduction, little
Yeah.
discussion, and then you can select other little small stories to listen to.
Yeah, and you get to pick and choose what you want to listen to. You can listen to all of it or some of it, whatever you want to do.
Yes, and it was interesting. It was not only the original pioneers, it talks about women and our Indigenous, their stories as well.
Yeah, that was
so it was
nice.
very interesting.
It was, and it shows you just like the entertainment and all sorts of things. The boxing I found interesting, the boxing tents, that was interesting.
Yes,
But
what
yeah.
they did for entertainment, the small country towns.
Yeah. We saw a guy make a whip, which he made out of kangaroo hide.
He
And
was
then-
making that,
Yeah, and then he took it outside and he cracked it to make sure it worked. But we did find out it was the first man-made object to break the sound barrier. Was
It did.
an Australian Stockman's whip. That was really interesting
Yes, it did.
to find that out, and that's what the big crack is at the end. So that was really interesting to find out. And
that was his quality assurance. He said, yep, it will pass, and it'll be right to be sold.
yeah, he was offering goes. I didn't have a go. I thought I'd lose an eye, but we think the people who were trying were actually buying. So
I think so.
yeah. But I tell you what, if you come into Longreach, it's well worth the visit, isn't it?
It is. It's quite interesting, and an interesting story about our past.
Definitely. And as I said, it was $35 for the tour that we done, the self-guided. You can do another tour, cost you $75 each. Very, very popular. You've got to book well in advance for that one.
What's that one for?
That one comes with a Stockman show, and I
Okay.
think you also get a small meal with that. I'm not 100% sure, but you can
Okay.
find out online. Yeah. But other than that, really interesting, well worth coming out to Longreach and having a look.
Yes, and it's just across the road from the Qantas Museum as well, so
Yep.
nice and close to each other.
It is. We're just about to head over there now. We'll give you a look around. We're not going to do the tour at Qantas this time round.
No.
We always like to save something for the future.
Yes.
So we'll go over, we'll shoot a little bit of footage, give you a bit of a feel of what it's like. And then we'll go a bit of a look around town. All right, let's roll.
That's right.
Tour of Qantas while we're here in Longreach this time, but you can come out to the airport and you can still see over the fence. I suppose that's the cheap way of doing it, but you get a 747 here and they've got a 707. Not quite sure what that is. Someone might be able to hit us up in the comments and let us know what that one is. But we'll certainly come back and do it in the future. Come out to visit the Qantas Founders Museum. It's a great little idea here. If you've got a pet, you can leave it out the front. They have a little area where you can keep your dog. Nice shady spot, bit of water.
Free of charge.
Free of charge. It's a great idea. The town today looks like the Air Force is in town. Coming into Longreach, I'm just going to go for a bit of a drive down along the main street. I really love these old country towns, don't you, Al? There's always plenty of like old school architecture and old school shops, and always a post office. There's one there.
And this one was rebuilt in 1903.
Don't tell me it was burnt down by a fire.
Prior to that, it was burnt down, yeah, and this is the rebuild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I learnt in the Stockman Hall of Fame.
Oh, there you go. Something that we have noticed with post offices when we've been out west, and doesn't matter where you go, they all look the same. So they must have had just one plan, and that plan was to build a post office like this, and then they just took them out to all the different regions and stuck them up. But yeah, all the old shops along the streets here, and this is a great thing about it, they don't change it too much. It's pretty much the way you probably would have found it, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago. But well worth it.
Oh, Black Dog Ride. We've
Oh,
seen
it's
them on the road.
Yeah, we did. We saw the Black Dog Riders come on the highway, so didn't we?
Yeah, Barcaldine, when we were leaving Barcaldine.
That's right. And they were raising money for Black Dog, which is a great charity. I think it deals with
Mental health.
mental health. Yeah. All right. This is great. Still a lot of old pubs, or what was an old pub's been now turned into some shops here. I'm sure there's still a couple kicking around.
Yeah, there's always a pub.
Always a pub, exactly. All right, that's the main street of Longreach. Here's the headquarters of the Longreach Flying Doctor Service. They do a magnificent thing here out in the Outback, don't they? Out at the stations, and just everything that they do these days. Health, mental health, dental, everything.
Yes, it's a great service.
It is.
All right, a couple of services that are in Longreach. Obviously, you can get fuel here. There's a hospital. What else is there out? There's plenty of banks.
Banks, an IGA and a Foods Works.
Yeah, the Food Works in particular. We've been there a couple of times now. You get some really great service. Great couple own it.
Yes.
And and it's very close to the donation camp where we're staying. It's, well, when we say very close, probably 500 metres closer than what the IGA is. But yep,
Hardware
certainly there.
store, newsagents. So I think you could get just about everything you need.
Definitely. I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed about Longreach since we've been out here, as opposed to some other country towns like, let's say, for example, Charvel and places like that. I'm just thinking about things that are equally as big. Most of the shops here are still open. Whereas
Yeah, I was thinking that most of it still has occupancy.
Yeah.
Not too many vacancies, which
No.
is lovely to see.
We've walked through, because we've walked through a lot of towns like Charvel, Cunnamulla, places like that, and just almost every second or every third shop is closed.
It's
And
quite sad to see.
it is, and it doesn't look like they're going to reopen in a lot of instances, and that is sad to see because it means people's leaving the country.
Yeah, they're leaving the region, and there's not a lot of reason then for people to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I've got to say though, there's no shortage of work out here. If you are looking for work, you just need to get off your bum and get out here because there's plenty of it to be had.
Yes. Yeah.
Skilled and unskilled work. All right, we'll just pull in over here and we'll give you a look at where the dump point and the water point is. They got a great, because this is an RV friendly town.
It's very RV friendly town.
They've got a great facility here where you can come in and you can park your caravan, or I just come up in the ute and resup our water when we're staying out on the thing. I normally just bring some jerrys up and fill them up, but take you in and give you a bit of a look. So in here, ample parking for caravans and your car.
And I think also when like you go to the Stockman's Hall of Fame and the Qantas, like there was parking for caravans.
Oh,
as
everywhere
well.
had parking for cars and
So-
caravans, yep.
Like everywhere seems to be, even when you go down to the grocers sort of thing. here.
So just at the end here, here's the dump point.
Oh, there it is.
There it is, next to the statue of the Bralgas.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
You come to visit us of an afternoon.
And then as you come along the back fence here,
Yes.
there's taps all the way along the fence. So if you
So-
come along, we might get one here in a second. I think it's up past the next one.
Is it?
Yeah, so the puddle.
Oh,
There you go. So there'll be a tap here
I can
somewhere.
see it.
There it is.
There it is.
So there's a potable water tap. It's already even got the fittings on it for the hoses.
And there's
Here's
one
another
there.
one here.
I can see that one.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And then you get the other ones that we showed you at the campground. So there's plenty about. It's all potable water, easy to get your van into or your setup and get filled up with water before you move on. We're going to top up before we leave tomorrow because we've heard up at Winton the water's pretty crappy up there. So we're
did
going to
the
head up there with,
bore water, and people said it wasn't so nice.
wasn't the best bore water. So yeah, we'll fill up with the fresh water while we're here and we'll take that up with us and that'll last us through to Hewenden where we hear the water gets good again.
Okay.
All right, we need to apologise. We told you we're at,
Oh, sorry.
we need to apologise. We told you we're in Emerald. We're going to show the Emerald station, and we bloody didn't.
No, you didn't.
But the lady at Emerald told us that Longreach was much better anyway. So here we are, Longreach station.
I think
Ta-da.
that's just saving your butt.
A bit of butt saving. I don't know what it is, but since we started travelling, I've really got an interest in old railway stations and post office. Now, maybe I'm making the cross to becoming an old fart. I'm not 100% sure. Hit us up in the comments section. Tell us what you think.
Yes.
That's a definite yes from Alison. What do you reckon, Al? This reminds me of a mini South Brisbane.
Yeah, mini South Brisbane.
Obviously-
They're at the old train station. It's always beautiful.
Yeah, this one was built in 1916, so I just think it's of that era. But
Really?
yeah,
1916?
well, it's got written on the bloody front out on the top of the building.
Okay.
And unlike a lot of other buildings we found in the Outback, this one has not been burnt down and rebuilt. Seems every second building you find it has been burnt down and rebuilt. I don't know whether it's just bushfires, weather conditions or insurance jobs, but whatever it is, the 1920s and 30s were a very bad year for pub owners.
Yes.
Outback Aussie Tours is very big here in Longreach. In fact, they organise most of the tours, and talking to a few of the locals, they seem to be the people to come and book with. So not recommending anybody, but this is the one the locals recommend to us. There's the river cruise that we spoke to you about yesterday. I'll just get Alison to read out when the station was made.
1916. It's very unusual that Stephen actually read something before I read something.
You could trip over it.
Well, that's it for Longreach. What do you reckon, Al?
Longreach was very good, actually.
It was. How long do you reckon you need to stay there for?
You could spend, I reckon, a good 4 or 5 days there, depending on what sort of things you want to do. Like, there's lots to go and see and do. Pot around the town, look. A lot of tours with Qantas, Stockman's Hall of Fame. Like they said, there was a new train.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? That was part of the Aussie Outback Adventures
Oh, was
tour.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
The river cruises. Oh,
Yeah.
there's lots to do and there's lots to see. It's a nice big town.
It is.
Nice to just sit and do nothing to.
Yeah, we stayed 3 days, and I've got to say, because you see the people going out for the cruise every afternoon, and the buses were packed every afternoon going out there.
They were very popular.
Yep. All right. So yeah, definitely. I reckon at least 4 days if you want to have a good look around.
Yeah.
And that'll be doing it pretty quick. If you want to throw a rest day in there, maybe 5 or 6.
Yes.
But the campground's pretty good. You do have to be self-sufficient out there in relation like to your toilet and stuff. But it wasn't too bad. There was plenty of space for everybody out there.
Yeah, and the dump point and water points were too far away, so it's not hard to run back into town.
Yeah, it was just so easy. Sorry, just 2 dead kangaroos laying in a very weird position on the other side of the road there. It wasn't too hard to run in and out of town. In fact, it was probably about 5 minutes to run into the dump point.
Yes.
That made life really easy. You can get fresh water at the campground. I think we showed you some of the footage of that, and if not, let's drop it in now. Yeah, that was pretty much it, but great stay. Longreach, another great outback Queensland country town. In fact, it's the capital of the outback, so...
And very friendly.
And very, very friendly, yeah. Got nothing bad to say about Longreach. Really enjoyed it.
I really had a good time there.
All right, well, I think that's a good note to end this week's episode on.
Yes.
Because we're pretty excited about next week's, aren't we?
We are.
We're on our way out to Winton, and we're going to stay in a free camp called Mistake Creek, which is, I think it's about 2 k's out of town or 3 k's out of town. It's something like that. Go and find ourselves a nice spot out there, hopefully on the bank of the river. But we're going to start the dinosaur trail in Winton.
I'm really looking forward to the dinosaur trail. Seen a few people go there and do it for big kids and little kids, so
yeah, it should be good. So we're going to do the dinosaur trail over 4 days. And We're going to do 2 days in Winton. So we're going to do the Age of Dinosaurs first, and then we're going to do the quarry where the stampede is.
I was going to say the stampede.
But I tell you what, we're not going to tell you all of that right now because that's going to be next week's episode. So we don't give away too much, do we?
No.
No, we don't. All right, well, that'll do us for this week. If you haven't already done so, please consider liking and subscribing. We really enjoy your feedback that you get, so drop us a comment, let us know what you think of the episode. Yeah, it's been really great.
It has been good.
All right, well, you have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.